Begin by opening the logbook page that you wish to transcribe. I'm opening it in Apple's Preview program, but Adobe Acrobat Reader will work just as well. Adjust the size to make it readable on your screen. Now open the Microsoft Word document, eliasdavis.docm. DOCM is the extension, and that's important. A dialog box will appear. Click Enable Macros. In the File menu, select Save As. In the dialog box that appears, give your new file a name. In this case, since we're doing page 298, I just append P298 to the Elias Davis file name. Note that the first column of the table contains the letters PPP. We're going to replace those with the page number. So go to the Find box at the top right of the window and type PPP. Then select Replace in the drop-down option and type in 298 and click Replace All. Notice the first column now has 298 for the page number. Click Save again. Now we're ready to begin the actual transcription. Click in the third column of the table and type in the text of the first line, line A1. When you complete the transcription, enter any notes about the line in the fourth column. On any date, I usually restate the date, and anything that needs further explanation goes in the notes column. Now let's add the XML markup. We highlight the text that we want to tag, and then press the key combination to put the date tag around it. Next, we're going to identify the place name Point Peter. Highlight the text and then press the key combination Ctrl-Alt-Shift-X to enclose it in the XML place name tag. Finally, to identify it as a paragraph, enclose the entire text, including the XML tags, highlight it, and then press the key sequence Ctrl-Alt-Shift-P. This will enclose the text in the XML paragraph tag. Now we're ready to enter the text of the first full paragraph. Begin by entering the XML open paragraph tag by pressing Ctrl-Alt-Shift-B as in boy on your keyboard. Now enter the first line of the paragraph. I try to honor the spelling and capitalization that was in use in the 18th century. Add the XML line break tag at the cursor position by pressing Ctrl-Alt-Shift-L. Continue to enter your text. This line has an unclear word in it. I think it's set, but I'm not sure. So when I get to it, I'll put a question mark after it. Afterwards, when I finish the line, I'll wrap that word in the unclear XML tag. I do this by highlighting the word and then pressing the keyboard combination Ctrl-Alt-Shift-U. Notice I also put a line break at the end of the line as we're not through the paragraph yet. Now I add any notes to explain any abbreviations or ambiguities or uncertainties in the transcribed text in the fourth or notes column of the table in the Word document. I continue entering the text in the third column and adding any explanatory notes or interpretations in the fourth column, not forgetting to add tags where appropriate within the text of the transcription. Here I'm adding an unclear tag around the word calm and also a line break at the end of the line. In column 4, I add any explanatory notes or expand on any abbreviations in the text. Now we enter the last line of the paragraph, noting the ambiguity about the word south spelled S-O-T-H, and making sure to add a close paragraph tag at the end of the line. The close paragraph tag can be gotten by holding down Control-Alt-Shift-C on your keyboard. Now we add the day's summary statement by the log keeper, including, of course, our paragraph tags. Now let's look at the tables. I'm going to begin with the table that I call the day's recap. It's a series of statistics and numbers concerning each day's voyage, which is done at the end of the day. The parameters are recorded in a table which typically has 9 columns and 2 rows. We'll explain the various entries as we do the translation. When I enter the table data, I do it in this fashion. I enter the information from the header row, followed immediately by the information from the data row, separating each column with a delimiter. I use a slash, but you can use whatever you like. So for example, the information from the first column would be written as the letter C, followed by a space, followed by the letter N, the numerals 22, and the letter W, followed by a slash. Now we enter the information from the table into column 3 of our Word document, literally taking each column and typing it as shown. The data from each column is entered in column 3 of the Word document. So the first column has a header that says C and data that says N22W. The second column, the header is D, the datum is 40. The third column, header W, datum 15. Fourth column, header N, datum 37. Fifth column, header says LATT-DR. The datum is 40 inch mark 8. The fifth column, The header says LATT-OBS, and the data is 40 inch mark 9. The sixth column says MDIS as its header, and the datum is 359. The next column, DLONG, and the data entry is -- inch mark 20. And then we enter the information from the last column. The header reads LONG hyphen, and it's either IN or M, it's not clear. And the datum is 68 inch mark 23. Now we move over to the notes area, column 4 of our document, and explain what all those arcane numbers mean. So first I say that I combine the table lines and I type the interpretation. The first column is interpreted as course north 22 by west. The second column is the day's estimated mileage, in this case 40. The third column is the mileage in a westerly direction, the W15, 15 miles. The fourth column is mileage in a northerly direction, in this case 37. The fifth column, latitude DR, latitude by dead reckoning, and that's 40 degrees, 8 minutes north. The next column is the actual observed latitude with a sextant, and that is 40 degrees, 9 minutes north. The next column, the MDIS, is the total distance on the voyage, in this case, since leaving port, 359 miles. The next column, DLONG, is the estimated longitudinal traverse during the 24-hour period, in this case 0 degrees and 20 minutes. And the final column is the current estimated longitude. Longitude was very difficult in those days. In this case, the estimated longitude is 68 degrees, 23 minutes west. Now I go back to column 3 and put in my XML tags to indicate unclear data and geographic coordinates. Finally, I surround the entire entry with a paragraph tag. This particular page has a second table, one that's in the left-hand margin, and records speed and heading every 2 hours across the 24-hour day. In order to organize the data in the page, we're going to create a second column. This we will call column B. Up till now, all the lines have been in column A. So for the first line of our table, we enter the page number, 298, but the line number is B1. The data in this table is organized into 4 columns. The headings are H for the hour at which the reading was taken, K for the speed of the ship in full knots, HK for the speed of the ship in half knots, and finally course, indicating the heading of the ship at the time the reading was taken. So the first line of our table indicates that the reading was taken at 2 a.m. The ship was making 4 knots and no half knots, therefore 4 knots even, and it was on a heading of north-northwest. Now we enter the data in our Word document. Just as we did with the other table, we combine the heading and the datum into delimited spaces within the column. So H2 followed by a slash, K4 followed by a slash, HK and a squiggle, followed by a slash, and finally the course information NNW. We enclose the table entry in a paragraph tag. Now we add our notes explaining the data at the left. Now we know we're combining table lines, and we interpret it this way. First item, the time at which the reading was taken was 2 a.m. The speed of the ship was 4 knots. That is 4 knots plus 0 half knots. And finally, we note the course, which was north-northwest. We repeat the process for the next line in the table, line B2, again noting the hour, the speed, and the course, and explaining it in our notes column to the right of the actual literal entry. Now you repeat the process until all the table entries and all the text have been entered for your single page. At the bottom, note it's the end of the page. You can see it says end of page 298. And you're done, ready to go on to the next page. Note that you should create a new Word document for every page that you transcribe. I hope you have found this little primer on transcribing the Elias Davis logbooks into a Word document helpful. If you have any questions, you can either catch me in the museum or send me an email at this email address. Thank you.